I know there are a couple of left-wing suck-ups that say, well, they can take away his ability to run for office. But that's not the purpose of the proceeding. That's a collaborative.
Yes, it is. It is specifically for that purpose.
Consequence of it. Purpose of the proceeding is to remove someone for office. If you remove,
no, it isn't. No, it isn't. I don't know how you got an A in constitutional law. I'm guessing, judging by all your other legal opinions and how you've conducted yourself as a lawyer since then, that and the fact that you were a shill for the Russian mob in your Italian mob fighting days, that I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that your teacher was relatively low rung, because your understanding of this, because there's no ampersand between impeachment and removal and denial and disqualification.
Removed from office, you cannot be removed from office.
The attorneys for the president simply say it's unconstitutional. We file directly with the Supreme Court to have the whole process thrown out. Is that a
no
maneuver that is even possible?
There are several different choices that that you have at that stage. One, you could move to dismiss in front of Judge Roberts. He's the presiding judge.
No, he isn't. No, you can't. He's not a judge. The judge oversees it. He doesn't actually dictate what can and can't be levered, because it's a political proceeding, not a court of law.
You normally do it at trial.
Yeah.
At the beginning of any trial, civil or criminal.
It's not a civil or criminal trial. It's different.
You always make a motion to dismiss, and basically it says the person hasn't charged anything. Because before you can try me, you have to have charged me with something. So that would be the first motion. You didn't charge me with anything. You charged me with something that leads to removal. See, I'm removed. Goodbye. Or they could...
No, that's not how this works at all. This is a political proceeding about holding office in the future.
Decide they want to go to the Supreme Court. They could take that right to...
You're right, Professor Funback. Justice Roberts is not presiding.
The Supreme Court. Or if Justice Roberts disagrees, they could...
Why are you showing pictures of him? Rudy, this was a couple days ago. You've known this for at least a week.
Take it to the Supreme Court. Now, if Justice Roberts agrees and throws it out...
He doesn't, he won't, he can't.
The Democrats will take it to the Supreme Court. And then we'll get an answer on, can you impeach a president who's removed? Or, in essence, can you remove...
Yes, they've done it with a judge. No one's above the law. If you can do it with a judge, you can do it with a congressperson. You can do it with the president.
Remove a president once he's been removed.
I've read that.
Yes, you can.
That speech that the president made on January the 6th. I've read it twice. I've watched his speech 3 times. If there is an incitement to riot, I guess I'm not smart enough to see it.
Well, I think we've solved the problem. There we go. That is, I was about to say that's precisely the problem. That's not true. It's not that Huckabee isn't smart enough to understand what was going on. It's that Huckabee is a liar and a grifter and is pretending he doesn't know exactly what was said. This is false naivete.
But even people like Mitch McConnell have said that the president incited people to a riot. That just seems so far-fetched. He told them to peacefully go to the Capitol. But what did he tell them to do when they got there? How about this? Tell you what, guys, we're all going to go over there and give them a piece of our mind. We're all going to peacefully walk through my yard. Don't tear anything up. Don't bust anything on the way there. Once you get there, the Capitol. And there have been so many instances in recent history where politicians have said, go to the Capitol. I mean, Cory Booker has said it. Kamala Harris has said it. All kinds of people have said, go to the Capitol and get up in the faces of your representatives. But the president certainly didn't say, go vandalize the Capitol, fight with the police. Nothing even comparable to that. So the basis...
No, very specifically comparable to that. Very specifically, where it's called Stop the Steal. You're not going to stop it by being weak. You have to be strong. You're going to have to show strength. And if Mike Pence doesn't do what he needs to do, I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to change my mind about them. We're going to walk down there peacefully and patriotically. We're going to walk down there, and I'm going to walk down there with you. But if those people think that they're going to do this Right.
Of the whole idea of impeachment, even if he were still president, seems to be ridiculous.
Well, that's because you're a liar and Rudy's dumb.
Right. You're absolutely right. Incitement is a very specific and very well-defined crime. I believe the case is Brandenburg. And the Supreme Court made it very difficult to convict for incitement because it gets so close to free speech.
That's because that is a court, and they're talking about that in a court of law. In the ruling for impeachment, removal from office, and disqualification from running for future office is lighter than that because this is not a court of law.
You know, where's the end? When we get into politics and we get into
the end is don't tell them to go down there and fight like hell.
Major political issues, people get emotional. They speak sometimes in angry language. The question is, did that angry language lead to incitement? So now look at the crowd.
According to the crowd, it did. But please, Rudy, tell us how it was all Antifa.
I've watched it also 4 or 5 times. Plus, I was there. I gave a speech, and I was there live. The crowd was too cold to get excited. I'm telling you. All they wanted to do, I hate to tell the president this, but when he got into the second half hour of the speech, all his big supporters that were sitting with me were saying, can we get up? And I was telling him, no, it'll look embarrassing if you get up. Not because the speech wasn't good. Yeah. The poor people were freezing to death.
Yeah, you're like, I'm freezing my ass off. Can we go kill somebody now? It looks warmer in the Capitol. Let's bust a window.
So I said some words that they want to use and misinterpret about having a trial by combat. I was talking about 2 machines having a trial by combat to prove that the Dominion machine.
Two machines having trial by combat. It was like real steel with Hugh Jackman.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm not sure the audience even understood it, much less got incited by it. And the applause was something like this.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Rudy, I know. Bring on Trump. We're awaiting orders.
Incitement is when the people jump up, they run out of the speech, and they go burn the house down. That's basically...
Which a bunch of them did. They left early because they took Trump's initial argument that they were going to have to fight like hell. They didn't hear the peaceably part or the patriotic part. It was one line in the teleprompter that he put in later in the speech after a bunch of people had already left. And he said he was going to meet them down there. So they wanted to get a pole position.
What incitement is. That your language was so powerful, that your language was so clear, that they just got the message and they ran right from there and boom. Now, they didn't even prove that a person from the speech went to the Congress. Remember the...
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there's lots of footage of it, Rudy. Guess I got news for you. If you're going to make this argument, you're going to need to see what the Democrats have.
The congressman who got up and said, can you name one person that went from the speech to Congress? Because you charged that in the impeachment.
Yeah.
Silence for a minute. There may have been some, but by the